It is absolutely possible to have massive success with Google Ads as a beginner. I've seen it happen many times.
I know it. I know it. I know it.
But to do that, you need to know what to focus on and when. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so point number one, win where you have an edge. Now, it's really important that you view Google Ads as a competition, because it is. You are competing with other advertisers for people's attention, for impressions in the first place, trying to compete with them to get them to click on your ads as opposed to theirs, then trying to get the conversion from there. So it is a competition. Now, as a Google Ads beginner, you're not going to be able to beat people on all the little settings and technical details and the sort of complex intricacies of tracking and campaign setup and all that sort of stuff in comparison to Google advertisers that have been doing this for a decade or more, of which there are plenty. But there is still hope. Like, don't let that get you down too much. Because there are other areas where you could beat those advertisers, not on all the little settings and technical details, but other things where you can beat those advertisers that actually matter often a lot more than all those little settings and technical details, and you can beat your competition even as a beginner. I'm going to run through some of those options where you can beat more experienced Google advertisers, get those clicks and get those conversions. So firstly, you can win with a superior offer. If your competitor has a better Google ad campaign, it's set up more sophisticatedly, you can still beat them if your offer is better. There's a classic phrase within all digital marketing, certainly applies to Google Ads, that a really good offer can make up for a poor campaign, but it doesn't matter how good the campaign is, if the offer's poor, nothing will work. And that's what I'm really getting at here, okay? So we think about a superior offer. What could that look like? Well, firstly, you can have a better product or service than your competitors. Your product could have more features, it could have more capabilities, it could have, there's many different ways in which a product can be superior. It could be more durable, it could look nicer, all sorts of different things around there, right? You could have a better price point. You literally offer a similar quality product or service, but you charge less. Perhaps you offer a better discount, you offer buy one, get one free, lots of different ways to have a superior offer around price. You could simply have better customer service. Obviously going to apply to services more, but not always. There are lots of businesses that do well on an e-commerce standpoint, that their customers come back to them again and again and again because they have better customer service, and that brand loyalty means that they're more likely to get the click and they're more likely to get the conversion when they're running their ads as opposed to their competition. You could offer better terms. This is often an overlooked one when it comes to selling things and creating a better offer than your competitors. So you could, for example, offer a finance option. Instead of pay all now, you can pay in installments. You could offer free delivery or faster delivery. You could have something around a refund if people aren't satisfied, or easy to return the product, easy to cancel and get your money back. You could have a better guarantee. Again, this is one that's underutilized by a lot of Google advertisers. So for example, if you don't get the result that we think you should be able to get with our product or service, then you get your money back, or we will keep working with you until you get it, or you'll get another free product or something along those lines. A guarantee can be a really good way to go. So really think about, okay, if I can't compete on the technical details in ad platform, how can I think about external factors like an offer that I can create that's much better than my competition, that's going to make up for any lack of experience I've got within the ad platform themselves. Tip number two, pay more than your competition for customers and win anyway. Now that might sound quite strange, particularly as a beginner. You're thinking, surely the company with the lowest cost per conversion, the lowest cost to acquire a customer is going to win, right? That's not always the case. In fact, that's often not the case, particularly with some of the most successful businesses in the world. Because you can afford to pay a lot more than your competitors to acquire a customer, basically pay a lot more for a lead or a lot more for a sale from your Google ad campaigns, if you make more money from each customer than they do. If you really focus on increasing your lifetime customer value, how much customers are worth to your business over the lifetime of purchasing your products and services. I'll give you a quick example. Let's say you're paying 20% more per sale or per lead than your competitors. They've got more experience on Google Ads, they've set up their campaigns in a bit more sophisticated way, so they've got that 20% efficiency on you. But if you make 80% more on average per customer than they do, you're in a much better situation. I'd much rather advertisers spent more time focusing on increasing average customer value and less time on the minutiae of the ad platform. Their business will often be in a much better situation if they do, because you can increase lifetime customer value massively. There's often only so low you can go when it comes to reducing your cost per conversion. So how do you go about increasing your customer LTV? I've got a number of options that I want to run through. So firstly, can you increase your average order value? So with that standalone transaction, someone first buys something from your store first signs up for a service, can you get them to buy more there and then? Can you upsell them on other services? Can you offer additional products? If you think of Amazon being the masters of this, right? How many times do you go on Amazon, you're looking to just buy the one thing, you thought, oh, I need one of those, right? I'll go on Amazon, jump on, and before you know it, you've bought 4 or 5 different things. Like, they're really, really good at getting you to buy other things at the same time, which massively increases your average order value. And that, of course, is one of the core components of customer lifetime value. The next one is to increase your order rate. So not just increasing how much they spend in one transaction, but can we get people to buy again and again? This applies to products, this applies to services as well. A lot of service-based businesses don't focus on this, and they should. How do you increase your order rate? Well, make sure that you are remarketing on Google and potentially other ad platforms as well. So putting ads in front of people that have already purchased from you before. A lot of advertisers don't want to do that. A lot of business owners think that's a waste of money. I've already got that customer, they're going to buy again. I think that's honestly quite arrogant to think that your previous customers are sort of living their lives thinking about your business. They aren't. They're thinking about all their own stuff, so they need reminders. You can also increase order rate, email marketing, SMS marketing. If these are customers and you have permission to be able to contact them again, take advantage of that sort of stuff. You could offer a subscription product or service, something that recurs naturally. And there's a reason why in recent years so many different businesses have been moving to a recurring revenue model, a subscription basis, ones that you would never think of, right? So things like your TV, your phone, streaming services, you'd expect these to be subscription businesses, right? But if you buy a new car, there's a good chance that your car is now a subscription for you. You have to pay to get the updates and things like that, right? Particularly if it's an electric car. Think about the food you cook in your own home, things like HelloFresh, right? There are businesses that are subscription that would deliver the food to your home that you then cook. These things would have seemed crazy, 10, 15, 20 years ago. But the reason why companies are moving that way is because with a subscription basis, customers stick around for longer, they pay more over their lifetime, and that allows them to come in and spend a lot more on their advertising to acquire customers more aggressively. That's why so many different businesses are moving towards it. The next one is to reduce churn. So if you do have a subscription set up, you want to do everything you can to make sure that customers, clients stay with you for as long as possible. So can you improve your customer service? Can you get them better results? Can you make them feel looked after? Can you go above and beyond their expectations to take, let's say, you've got a software business, someone signed up for your software. Can you take the average person from a 6-month retention to a 12-month retention where you just doubled your average customer value by doing that? And again, that allows you to pay more on the Google Ads side of things. And then the other one is encouraging referrals. This particularly applies to service-based businesses, although of course, people refer products, they refer restaurants, they refer all sorts when they have a good experience. So creating something like a referral program, I'm sure you're familiar with the sort of thing that I'm talking about, where the person referring gets a discount, the person they refer to, they get a discount or some sort of introductory offer. But actually having one in place and communicating that to your customers, lots of businesses do it, but a lot more don't and they miss out, can make a big difference. Because if on average, let's say for every 2 customers that you sign directly through ads, one of those people, so 50% new customers, then goes on to refer someone else. Well, again, if you're paying 20, 30% more than your competitors, but you're getting 50% more revenue because 1 out of every 2 is then referring someone, you win. You can beat your competition, even if your campaign's not set up in a way that is as ideal as what your competitors have got. 3, if running ads on more than just a search network, borrow brand value. So just to quickly define the term, brand value I define as the intangible positive association that gets people to take action. It's the reason why you see an ad for a certain business pop up versus one you've never heard of, or perhaps have a negative association with, and you're far more likely to click on an ad from that business to go through and purchase their product. When you think of, I need a product or a service in this category, you just immediately think of a company that you're going to contact as opposed to necessarily, doing a lot of research because of that brand value. And it matters enormously. Digital marketers in the earlier years of digital marketing, say 20 years ago, massively undervalued brand value. They thought it was all about more direct response marketing, get the click, get the conversion, and there's a time and a place for that. But if you combine that with brand value, it's so much easier to get amazing results. Now, as a Google Ads beginner, good chance you don't have brand value. Now, you might be running ads for a company that you own or work for that has brand value established already, and maybe they are new to Google advertising, they've done their marketing elsewhere, in which case, great, you'll be able to benefit from that straight away. But if you're not in that scenario, if you're a smaller business, there's not that brand value, people don't know who you are, they don't have a positive association, you can borrow brand value. How would you do that? this doesn't really apply to search campaigns, but other types of campaigns where you can use other ad formats, images, videos, you can hire influencers to be in your image ads, for example, on the display network. You can hire influencers to record your video ads for you. You could get an influencer who's very relevant to the space you're operating in to record an ad demonstrating how your product is used or how fantastic your service was, and you could run those as video ads on YouTube and elsewhere on Google. So this is something that's going to require a little bit more budget. Not every beginner is going to be able to do this, but for those that can, this is a massive shortcut and can easily give you the edge over your competition, even if your campaigns aren't set up as well as theirs are. I'll get onto some more really important techniques for Google Ads beginners that can allow you to win as a beginner in a second. Before I do, I just want to quickly let you know about my Google Ads mentorship program. So with my mentorship program, me and my team will mentor you daily to ensure you get the best possible Google Ad results. We'll be in your ad account with you, making recommendations, answering any questions that you've got, making sure that you have everything you need to optimize your campaigns, to set them up correctly, to get the best possible results, providing advice on things within the Google Ads platform, as well as things I'm discussing in this video outside of it. If that sounds like something that might be of interest to you and help you get the best possible Google Ad results, there's a link in the video description below. You can click on that, come through to a page on our website and book in a free call with one of my team members who can discuss all the details and show you exactly how we might be able to help you. So if that sounds interesting, go ahead and book a call and hopefully we get a chance to work together. Number 4, stick to search or performance max campaign types. Now, I typically recommend for beginners that they start with search campaigns only when it comes to Google Ads, because search is by far the easiest part of Google Ads to understand. It's the part that most of us think about when we're not that experienced with Google Ads. We think about search, right? You think, okay, someone goes into Google, they search for something, and then ads that are relevant to their search pop up. And obviously that's what I want my ads to be shown to, people who have intent that are looking for things closely related to my products and services. So it's good to start there. But that does depend on what background you have as an advertiser and if you're coming from elsewhere, what assets you have. So for example, if you've already been running meta ads and you have images and videos, search might not be the best place to start because it's quite different from, say, meta advertising. I know a lot of people that watch my videos on this channel have run meta ads or are running meta ads because I also have a larger YouTube channel all about meta ads. So if you have those assets and perhaps that experience as well, then I think that Performance Max might be the way to go, because Performance Max combines all the various campaign types. So yes, it does include search as well, but it also includes shopping and YouTube and display and the various stuff in demand gen and all the different options, because there's many different elements when it comes to Google advertising. And I'm a big fan of Performance Max. Even if you start with search as a beginner and want to sort of expand and scale later, I would definitely recommend including Performance Max. But it is a little bit more complicated to go through. So if you do want to do that, what I'd recommend you do is go through a video that I've created, tutorial walk you through Performance Max. There's a link in the video description to it. I think that will be really beneficial. But I think it's quite easy for Google advertisers, beginners in particular, to get lost and they start going with, okay, I'm just going to have a mess around with a shopping campaign. I'm just going to mess around with a display campaign, and well, what's demand gen, or what's a video campaign? And it's easy to get quite lost in all the various details and not really focus anywhere. So I think for beginners, it's either search or Performance Max or a mixture of the two for now. 5, use a statistical significance calculator to optimize. Now, one of the big mistakes that I see a lot of Google Ads beginners make is they don't give things enough time. So they might create some new ads, they might target some new keywords, and they're looking to draw conclusions when they just don't have enough data. Like if a keyword has 2 conversions, it's very difficult for you to be able to say, is this going to work for my business or not? The cost per conversion that's associated with that keyword, if there's only 2 conversions, it's more or less meaningless, unless it's way, way above your target cost per conversion. It's a bit like you're guessing, you're not using proper data to make proper optimization decisions. So one of the really easy ways to get around that, particularly as a beginner, before you get a feel for, yeah, we've got enough clicks on this, we've got enough conversions on this to be able to make a call, is to use a statistical significance calculator. Free online tool, and you just enter that in and you'll go into one of these and you can just literally say, okay, these are my numbers. This keyword's got, this many conversions at this cost, this one's got this many conversions at this cost, like which one's performing better, and you will see whether or not your results are statistically significant. And if they're not, then give it more time. Wait until you've generated more conversions, generated more data before going ahead and turning something off or changing it. Because like I said, if you've got 2 conversions on a keyword and that's taken you a couple of days to reduce, what happens if the next hour you get 2 more? You think your results look rubbish, oh, my CPA is way too high on this one, and then you get 2 more in the next hour and you're like, oh, numbers look great. That's the problem with small numbers, is they can be very misleading. So give yourself more time and wait till you've got more data. Number 6, set a lower ROAS target. ROAS stands for return on ad spend, in case you're not familiar. Now, when I speak to Google Ads beginners, they often want unrealistic return on ad spend numbers in order to say that their Google Ads campaign is successful. I speak to a lot of beginners that say, I want a 10x or a 20x return on ad spend. So I might run through the numbers with them and say, okay, what's each customer worth on their initial transaction? And they might say, okay, on the average order value is $100 when someone checks out through my store. And okay, right, so you're telling me that you want to acquire a customer that's initially worth $100 for just $5 or $10 in terms of your cost per sale there? Like, really? You wouldn't be willing to pay $20 for a 5x return on ad spend, or $25 for a 4x return on ad spend? If your business doesn't work, the Google Ad campaign is not profitable for you at 4x or a 5x return on ad spend on the initial transaction, then that ties into the previous point. You really need to have a look at your business model and try to increase your lifetime customer value, because I don't think you're going about things the right way. If you think about the things we talked about to increase your lifetime customer value, a 4x return on ad spend on that initial transaction can turn into a 20x return on ad spend if you get repeat orders or subscription orders where people stick around for a while, or referrals, or any one of the things that we talked about. So I think setting expectations and realizing, actually, yeah, I can have a really successful Google Ads campaign and this be really profitable for my business over the long run, maybe not initially, with a 4x or a 5x return on ad spend. That also gives you a big competitive advantage, because if other advertisers are trying things out in your space and going, oh, I didn't 20x my money on my first campaign, and they leave, and you stick around going, you know what, I got a 6x return on ad spend, that's really good for my business. I know over the long run, that's going to be really, really profitable. I'm going to acquire lots of customers without losing money initially, and then I have this huge customer base I can sell to and get referrals from, and all sorts of stuff. You are going to win. And number 7, and I'm serious about this one, is that you go ahead and watch this video, because in that video I provide a full beginner's tutorial to Google Ads. I walk you through the entire campaign creation process. I show you all the settings that you need to use to set your campaign up the right way. If you're a Google Ads beginner, I could not think of a better use of your time than to watch this, so go ahead and check it out.